the composition and songwriting program, students get to explore their own musical interests while being exposed to all sides of writing and creating music.
The amount of growth that I've experienced in the past year is just incredible. I mean, I look back to where I was a year ago, the pieces that I was writing at that time instrumentally, and how little I knew about the professional composition world, and what I know now and what I've learned, and it's kind of like two different people. It's amazing just to look back and see how much I've grown.
Each student is encouraged to develop his or her own unique voice, but we also teach the craft of composition and songwriting, because at the end of the day, each student needs to create music that's accessible to a broader audience.
Receiving feedback is super important in the writing process. My lyrics were what really changed first, and I started realizing the importance of using imagery and being more specific in my songs, and now I'm a lot better at getting my point across.
It's a balance between becoming an artist and creative musician and developing the technical skill and ability to be successful at whatever path they choose. We have students who pursue songwriting as artists themselves, and we also have students who prefer to write songs for other artists. In addition, we have students who are more interested in instrumental music and prefer writing music for various media such as TV, video games, and film.
It was my first experience really writing for an album, expecting to have a lot of different things going on instrumentally. So that's changed my writing a lot, because now I'm not just writing with hopes of performing it in a live setting solo. I am also writing it in hopes of having big arrangements and just that help add more power and depth.
All right, should be 8 clicks to bar 1.
That sounds good.
There's a hands-on aspect to our program that gives our students the opportunity to experience what it's like to create and make music professionally. More than just putting pen to paper, our students are able to work in the studios with other musicians and recording engineers.
Being in the studio is one of the highlights of my experience at McNally Smith. It's one of those moments where you get to see everything you've been working on really come together with live musicians collaborating on your music. It's definitely an adrenaline rush, hearing your music for the first time and being able to watch it come together.
It's really nice to have those tools, to know how to use Logic and Pro Tools and use MIDI in order to create the basic sound of what you want, so you can get your idea across to somebody else if they're going to take it to the next level.
One of the top reasons I wanted to come to McNally Smith is because they had an amazing recording studios and amazing students and teachers to help you realize your dream of being recorded.
It's a very collaborative experience, and this idea is carried throughout the entire program. For example, in our scoring for media classes, students write music to picture and then have their music recorded by a small string orchestra with student engineers.
When I first took Scoring for Media 1, that was my first introduction to learning what it would be like to score for film. I didn't know anything really about the filming process or the film scoring process, and that class taught me what to expect. So, you know, the language that you need to be able to speak to interact with other professionals in that field, the processes that you have to go through, all the different elements that you wouldn't know just from writing a piece.
As professional songwriters and composers, we need to be able to demonstrate our ability and what it is we can do. That's why we have our students develop a portfolio of their best work during their time in the program. And this is what they're able to take with them in the next step of their careers. We partner with Minneapolis College of Art and Design, where we pair our students up with their filmmaking and animation students and have our students provide original music for their projects.
Well, looking back, I'd have to say that I'm just so grateful that I'm able to come here, that I'm able to be in this atmosphere surrounded by my peers, my classmates, and my teachers who are all working towards the goal of just contributing to music as a whole. It's not just textbook knowledge that you could get from reading a book, and it's not archaic. It's something that's alive and applicable for today's professional world. And it comes from people who are in that professional world, from people who are working in the industry. So not only do they have all of this knowledge, they have the experience and expertise, and you automatically are able to connect with them and say, that's where I want to be in 10 years.
I have something important to say, and for me, it's in songwriting.